Destiny 2 players revolt over a $15 pay-to-win value pack. Now that's absolutely great to hear, but that was not my previous understanding. Even though someone did comment that the pack got removed after a couple of days, which is very interesting.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. And what I'm about to show you is, in fact, a relic, because it no longer exists. And it no longer exists because, well, fans said, no, we will not accept you doing this, and the company had to respond.
Okay.
Yes, this is some content, some DLC that Destiny tried to do, and you will notice the popular user-defined tags of capitalism, crime, psychological horror. Yes, suffice to say, the
Nice.
Destiny 2 starter pack did not go down particularly well. And if you're not a Destiny player, you won't realize just how little value there was for this, to the point where loads of people who play Destiny flat out said, this is a scam. This is not worth this in any way, shape, or form. So let's dig into what the hell.
There were some people who tried to defend that bundle and saying, oh, it's not a big deal that they're trying to sell you this, because none of these things are really hard to farm. Well, they do take time to farm and it's still pay to win. But some people defended this bundle because it was not overly egregious pay to win. And as I said previously, if you let this through the door, you're gonna let something else through the door. It's very easy saying yes. It's very hard saying no. And when you say yes, you can't take it back. But when you say no, you can always take it back. That's the real life. So yeah, there were people defending this. Interesting.
Hell is going on here? Why Bungie felt the need to actually release this bit of content, why they've then felt the need to delete it,
Money,
and what ultimately
backlash.
is the ongoing trolley problem for Destiny players of supporting a game that, well, can ask so much money for ultimately so little. And right after we ask for your support, by digging into today's sponsor. Our members at bellular.ghost.io, there they've been getting early access to our content, and they've also been getting to what the PvP team is doing now. Means in February, this will include new weekly progression-based quests called Wishes, and the launch of the Moments of Triumph with unique rewards, then Guardian Games being moved up to March with a refreshed focus on Class v Class competition, and they say that that is in addition to what the PvP team is doing. Now, they basically had to form this PvP strike team because essentially they underserved their PvP players for so long that it became a fairly major
Literal years, by the way. Literal years, as much as I understand it. This the PvP community has not received anything for a very, very, very long time. Essentially, they're probably like the lower denominator in Bungie's eyes, so that's why they get shafted.
drama, and now they're getting 3 maps. That takes us up to May. What about the final 2 months? Because Bungie is live service. That's why PlayStation bought them. The final shape is supposed to kind of kick off this whole new cadence of content delivery, so what are they going to do? And the answer there is basically a free season. 2 months of content that will effectively act as a prelude to the final shape. They have not been specific on what this content is, and that means the question is going to be...
So that's really, really bad, by the way. So, if you remember correctly, Bungie is in hot water because they have lost so much money, essentially, on all of the things that they have done bad. And they need Season of the Witch to absolutely kick it out of the park, okay? They lost 40% revenue or something like that, which is crazy much. That's 50% of their player base just out the window, pretty much, in most normal situations. Not gonna get too deep into that. We did a video on that previously, and actually deep dive analysis. And yeah, potentially the 40% revenue not met is roughly around 50% player base loss, which is crazy. So they need Season of the Witch to get everyone who left back and more people in. And that's fine if they're gonna take a little bit longer, but they need to deliver such a great product. That's fine. But the fact that now they're announcing that they're gonna have a 2-month preseason thing that kind of like smooths you into this, they did not plan on that. That content is gonna be undercooked, underbaked, underperforming, and horrible 100% without exceptions guaranteed. I can bet my life on that there's not going to be a lot of fans of the pre-content in that case. And that's why they're launching these $15, gift basket type of thing baggies, because they need to make some money. Otherwise, the people at the top are going to be fired. And hey, if there's a choice between being a person at the top and getting fired, or being a person at the top and not getting fired, well, I'm going to include all the $15 bundles that I can, so I do not get fired, so revenue goals are met. Just saying.
Will this be new content rushed out the door because of a sudden pivot developed since the announcement of the delay, or will this be repurposed content, basically meaning that they can really buy some time and then have their main team polish off the expansion? Because ultimately, what the worst thing here would be is the team having to crunch to do this content, and then to crunch to get the expansion to come out all in a live service game that basically is utterly relentless, where your team can never stop shipping. Of course, in addition to that, we got all the broad angst of the Destiny players. They have not had a great time. The most recent expansion was a pretty big, honestly, it was a disaster. It essentially felt like a big old slice of filler content that absolutely managed to miss. So there's all of this angst. There's also the fact that the game is really darn expensive and knows how to charge you plenty of money for not that much, including the new starter pack that went down so badly they had to unlaunch it. So one step forward, two steps back. Season of the Wish itself seems to be fine.
By the way, the idea that it's a starter pack is a complete blatant lie, if you haven't noticed. If it was truly a starter pack, then they would not care about the feedback of already existing players, because it's for the beginner players to make their experience better. But we all know that that's an absolute blatant lie.
Brilliant, not terrible, but potentially more of the same in a way that won't be, super exciting to players. As an example, this race to the top of the subreddit, and, well, I wasn't expecting much from the start of a season, but I wasn't expecting to run one new mission in an old location, then one new activity, only to end the weekly quest running a 5-year-old activity, and then rerunning the seasonal activity that's labeled as a mission. Not trying to be overly negative, I like the previous 2 seasons, but this season start feels cheap already. Of course, if things are feeling cheap
Bungie,
and you are trying to charge as much as Bungie likes to charge, that's not a particularly great situation to be in. Then again, the Destiny 2 community, they've kind of got used to having the start of a season be kind of underwhelming, because basically Bungie is 100% drip feed all the time, rather than the season having a massive swell at the start and then kind of petering off over time. They're kind of just getting back to baseline with the launch.
By the way, what that means? You know what that means? That means that Bungie has a lot of people addicted to Destiny 2, okay? Because when you launch something new, you want the first impression of people to be as positive as it's possible. But if Bungie intentionally doesn't even try to make the launch impressive, and they're fine with something meager or weak, or that people even don't like it, dude, that means that Bungie has their player base on lockdown. Everyone's just a, walking money piñata who's playing this game at this point. It's kind of crazy.
Of this season, hitting up, about 100,000 players. And if you look at that historically, that is baseline. It's overall for a season launch, not particularly great, because on this screenshot I've got marked here Beyond Light, Witch Queen, and Lightfall as A, B, and C, those expansion launches, and you can see, right, Beyond Light broadly retains players, Witch Queen retains players, and look at Lightfall, that just goes down. Of course,
True, that does go down, but this just proves that Bungie does. Everyone who's playing Destiny, are there new players even coming into the game? That's what I don't understand. I have people telling me, "Oh, I'm a Destiny player." Yeah, new people are constantly playing the game. But is it the fact that they just meet new players because new players try to communicate a lot? Or, reasons like that? Or is it, just because I don't feel it. I don't believe this. If Well, maybe new players are constantly playing the game, and that's why Bungie doesn't care to release a good product at the start, because every other company is trying to release good products at the start, because that is the proven way to actually be good. But Bungie's completely ignoring this. Look at this, and they're hitting new goals every time. How is this even a thing? How? Also, the fact that they missed the 40% of revenue mark, and they're still actually going up, and up, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But yeah, the Witch Queen, this graph alone, by the way, confirms everything that I said previously to be true. Yeah, wow, impressive.
Bungie themselves said that revenue was 45% lower than expectations, and I think we can even see it in the player charts. So really, it's amid all of this bad news that this starter pack even happened, and I think this headline from Dado sums it up pretty well. My first impressions of Season of the Wish are okay, but I'm mad about something, and yeah, turned out this was his time to hit the red button and tell us how he feels. So, we've got the $15 starter set. Now, as framed by Paul Tassi over at Forbes, who I think did a good job of framing the value here, it's not just a bad deal, but it's actually a deal that is insulting. Would you imagine that a starter pack contains some of the expansion content that's now 3 to 4 years old at this point that serves as a foundation of the current storyline? Guess again. Rather, this is a bundle that contains 3 exotic weapons, 3 cosmetics, and some materials. 125,000 glimmer, 50 enchantment cores, 5 enchantment prisms, and 1 ascendant shard. But the thing is, to most of us, that's absolute gobbledygook. I mean, there's some exotic weapons. Are they even... I mean, they're exotic. Surely these are great. Well, Paul is a big Destiny 2 player, and that means he's able to say that these are being sold to new players as some sort of, hey, get started in the game. You know, free-to-play game, maybe as a bundle with a bunch of boosts and accelerators that somebody may actually think like, oh, wow, this will really get me started. Just that it turns out these are 3 wildly off-meta exotics, 3 cosmetics...
Wait. I'm starting to get the feeling from the way that everything's phrased here is that the Destiny 2 community rejected this bundle because it didn't have actually things that they want, not the fact that this is blatant pay to win. So, if you actually added 3 exotic good weapons, would the Destiny player base be completely fine with that? Because from what's being said here, I'm slowly starting to lean that that's what's happening here. So, the Destiny player base did not accept this, did not like this, because it didn't have the pay-to-win stuff that they wanted? That's crazy. Oh no, Destiny's... Dude, again, we watched Cross's video on this, and I'm pretty sure Cross is like the de facto biggest content creator for Destiny, and that he does speak a lot of things that, the community feels is right, and that he represents a huge portion of the Destiny 2 fan base. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's what I'm kind of feeling watching his vids, And he does great stuff with that. And he said that he's completely fine with this. He said that he's completely kind of fine with this pack. Essentially what's in it. So, I'm really starting to feel that the reason this pack didn't succeed is just because it didn't sell the, rare exotics that most people wanted. So, Destiny 2 can actually reinstate this package at this point, it looks like, and just make a new one that's blatantly pay to win, costs $25 now, because it has the current most best epic gear, and the majority of the player base is going to be like, you go, Bungie, you got this, yeah, baby, I love that, pay to win, baby. Is that really it? Or am I confusing something? Because from everything I'm currently hearing, that's the picture that I'm kind of painting in my head.
That do nothing, and materials you could earn in an hour or 2 of gameplay at most. Yeah, so this is absolutely goddamn egregious. Also that, with that amount of money, you could, buy things that have actual gameplay and also contain the story. I mean, you can get stuff that contains the story of Destiny 2 for less than the cost of the starter pack. I mean, Witch Queen, people really liked it. Costs £8, just over half the price of the starter.
Yeah, you see, this is the problem. This is the problem with Disney. Dad, look at this. To play Disney proper, you need to buy all of this crap, okay? 75% off on a couple of these things. Yeah, you know what? That's not gonna sell me. Yeah, that's kind of not gonna sell me.
Pack. Similar for Beyond Light, Shadowkeep for $4.99, but from my experience of playing the Shadowkeep campaign, it is not worth $4.99. It is just that boring. Now, of course, what's funny then is that even the silver bundle that is there will actually cover the cost for Season of the Wish content, and that's actually cheaper than this starter pack. This starter pack that is such a bad value that effectively to many people they're just calling it a scam, a way to sort of hoodwink new players.
Yeah, again, it seems Disney players are not against the fact that they're being blatantly, sold items pay-to-win style. They're just mad it's not good items. That seems crazy to me.
Char quipped by saying that these would be login rewards in any other MMO, which honestly is just kind of hilarious. And then, the thing that you may have seen already that perhaps I've decided...
Those would be login rewards, by the way, in a mobile game, that's true.
...to put in today's thumbnail. Yeah, the end screen of Dado's video, which honestly is pretty damn epic. Hope you've stoked yet another wave of hate articles, hate videos. I mean, this is certainly not a positive video because I don't think this was a good move. But yes, hello, Dado. You've probably accomplished your mission, I think. And bad publicity yet again. You never will learn. I give up. I hope it was worth a few grand. And that basically is the problem here. And Dado, if you don't know, and maybe you've somehow watched this, you are chained to Bungie. I'm changed to World of Warcraft. It's just the way that it is, it's kind of hard to get out of it. But I will say, at least with World of Warcraft, they've kind of listened. I mean, the new raid is one of the best. It's fantastic. We're getting a lot of content, and yes, they were doing a few monetization.
Who cares about the raid? The story shit.
Things that I don't particularly
the game shit.
But I mean, none of it is impacting gameplay. Yeah, whoa, yikes. You guys don't have it good. And the weird thing about Bungie is, they should be really good at communication. They actually do communicate a lot, but ultimately here, it kind of just is Bungie being Bungie. Look, Bungie management built a product that would probably generate some money, but it's not a unique cosmetic. It's not a flashy thing that a whale will buy, and it's not even something that's going to fix revenue problems that have been widely reported with the game, because it's literally a bad deal, and the current players won't even go near it. Instead, this is something that is basically just... I mean, honestly, it's kind of trying to rob their new players. It's basically running a scam predicated on newer players not being able to judge the value of the bundle, which is insane. And thankfully, all of the shaming actually worked. And that is why...
Well, yeah, but... What kind of idiot do you need to be to go into a game and there's a random bundle here. You know what, I guess I'm gonna just drop a 20 on it. Without knowing even if it's value in the first place. I mean, if you're that stupid, either you're rich, or it doesn't matter that you're poor.
You see, whenever people say, oh my god, you haters, if you don't like it, just don't buy it. No, if you think that it's bad for the game, if you think that this is the sort of thing that should not happen as time, as time goes on, you want this kind of thing to stop, bloody well say it. Make the videos, talk in the forums, talk on Twitter. Don't be a massive dickhead about it to developers, obviously. Blame the people who actually make these decisions. Be precise, but absolutely make your voice heard, because we now have an increasing pile of examples where our voices have actually been heard, where we have actually ensured that the bad thing hasn't happened. But of course, this is Bungie, and even in taking the L, they have managed to not take the L well, which is bloody hilarious. Of course, what is marketing about? What's PR about? In a time like this, it's about saving face with the company line. But, I mean, man, this is quite rough. Hey, everyone, we launched the Season of the Witch yesterday, and we've been monitoring the conversation around what you've been enjoying and haven't. We'll start things off with the starter pack, which is something not bringing joy, which is why we pulled it from stores. We've heard with your concerns and agree that
I think it's gonna be back. I think the starter pack is gonna be back, because if I'm Bungie, I'm currently hearing make the starter pack $25 and just put in pay to win shit so people buy it, and then they're not gonna complain about it. Easy, done. There you go. More money, easy.
there are other parts of Destiny 2 that people should want to dive into first before chasing these exotic weapons, cosmetics, and upgrade materials. So, are they going to say, sorry everyone, I know, we were basically finding people who are, you know, new in the country, fresh off the boat, and we were just trying to rob them blind. Yeah.
Now, I can't seriously tell. Does Destiny 2 actually have a bunch of new players constantly trying it? Again, I said it before. I do really think that there's no real thing that, you know, comes close to Destiny, that it's a unique game on the market, so it's gonna have a lot of staying potential and power, and, you know, I do say that Warframe's a good alternative. Warframe's a good alternative for some. Because it's completely different from Destiny 2 at the end of the day. They look kind of similar because it's futuristic shooters, I guess. But other than that, they're completely two different games. You know, there's no overlap between them almost. So yeah, I'm really, really wondering, are there new players constantly coming to Destiny 2, or is that just not true? Because people are saying that and claiming it, but I'm not sure if that's true with the absolute horrendously steep price of entry to this game, because it's not actually paid, you know, free to play. I mean, the free-to-play part is like 5% of the game, and then the 95 rest of percent is locked by roughly $200, $300, which is crazy.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you couldn't have said that on Twitter, but, you know, maybe acknowledging that it was a bad value proposition or a miscalibrated bundle or something like that would actually show that degree of understanding. Now, there are some things that team have been doing that have been great to see. They have actually responded to plenty of actual, like, specific concerns, which is quite nice. And they're good answers. They're not, you know, they're not kind of like weird answers. No, it's actually great to see. It's good community engagement. It's just that, obviously, on this topic, there's no way that they will have the green light to say anything that is, you know, at all what will actually make people happy. And this brings us ultimately to the trolley problem. The trolley problem. So there's an internal tension coming out in the Destiny player base because they're really frustrated with the money-making decisions of Bungie management and how utterly transparently bad it all is. But equally, they're also acknowledging that the people who are making this game also
transparently bad, honestly. That's a good sentence right there.
So just watch 10% of their colleagues, you know, get fired. So now the people who remain are having to do the same or more, but with less. But despite all of that, players are still finding that the things that make up Destiny's gameplay prior to an expansion are not enough to justify spending all of your time on, especially while they're waiting for the actual content of the final shape. And as put forward by Kaylee here, it is like the trolley problem. Right now, playing a game like Destiny 2 feels like getting caught in a trap. On one hand, we have to play or more devs may lose their jobs. On the other hand, the more we play, the more we burn.
Yeah, again, I think the Destiny community is completely off back. Imagine you waking up and being like, oh god, I need to play Destiny 2 right now, otherwise people are gonna lose their jobs. Can you just, like, give me money for free in that case? I don't, do I need to even pretend? Just give me money in that case. I also need it. Like, come on. I'm not a millionaire. I would love to be on my way there, hopefully. But, you know, dude, I can't. It's, the Destiny 2 community is like, I have no words to describe it, how neurotic these people seem at some points. They accept pay to win. They literally feel responsible for to make sure that developers have jobs. These people are insane. Destiny 2 is not a game, it's a support group for shitty devs. It's crazy.
Earn out what to do. And ultimately, there is no good answer there, because the cold hard fact is they need more goddamn money. Either that, or they need to lower their costs. And unlike with Twitter, I'm pretty sure you can't axe 75% of the Destiny 2 team
Why
and
not?
still have broadly a similar experience exist.
Why not? When Elon said that he's going to axe 80% of the Twitter devs, idiots started saying, oh my god, he's going to destroy Twitter in a day. I was laughing and saying, good. Good. There's... What did it do? You're talking about a platform that had an average update of 0.3 per year under the old leadership. They obviously 90% of their developers are complete useless garbage because they're not actually developing anything. They're just developing new elaborate ways to suppress free speech and shit. So yeah, obviously you can cut them. My thing is you can probably cut them also in Bungie, because a lot of people don't really understand the principle that too many people working on something is also a problem. You can't solve an issue by having 1,000 people work at it. That's just not productive. You need the exact amount of people for the exact size of the project who all are capable and do the right things. When we're talking about an industry like, well, this, I guess, coding and or whatnot. I'm not a coder. I don't understand anything about it. But I do have friends that are coders, and they work in really, really powerful parts of the industry, and they are really, really, really well paid because they're the best at their sectors. And pretty much all of them are always saying the exact same thing. 10 bad coders are gonna ruin everything. You just need good coders. You need one good coder is 100 times more valuable than 10 bad coders or 10 average coders or people who know computers in general. Like, bloat is a serious issue, especially in these developer things, because everyone impacts everyone in some shape, way, or form. So you screwing up is gonna be problems for other people. So you need competence, and well, this is not competence at all.
Just online. No, any more cuts will probably be like, a case where it's like you've already cut to the bone. You cannot take more people away from this project. So it is a really challenging thing. The only way, right, essentially, is this crazy thing called investment. Because investment is you burning through a bunch of money now to hopefully make some more money in the future. So in a way, with this live service, they need to accept their loss and invest in their future. Stop desperately trying to hoodwink people with stuff like this stupid starter bundle and actually focus on a future game that will bring more of those players back and turn them into better converting customers via giving them deals that are, giving them a value proposition that they will, stick with and pay for as time goes.
Obviously, that proposition is a paradox, because you can't give people valuable deals. The way that you give people good valuable deals don't exist. There are only valuable deals. Because if a deal is good and valuable at the same time, that means they just took something that should have already been in the game and they're just selling it to you for money now. That's not a valuable deal.
Goes on.
No, that is a valuable deal, but that's not a good deal.
Which ultimately seems to be the bit that they have really floundered at, as evidenced by the 45% drop in revenue versus their internal.
Also, do people like actually playing in something that looks like this? I know it's intentional. It doesn't look that bad, but at the same time, I am very, very off-put with what's currently on screen.
Expectations. And it's actually pretty well captured by one of their senior narrative designers who quote tweeted the delay saying, "I've worked in this thing more than I've ever worked in anything, and that is, let me tell you, a lot. There's not a single person doing the day-to-day work on this project who isn't busting their entire ass. June feels at once impossible."
Hey, I'll also tell you this, and I think we're done. If you're busting your ass off, it doesn't mean that you're doing good. I mean, an idiot also can put in 110% of all the effort that he can muster, but it doesn't mean that they're accomplishing anything. It is what it is. Anyway, that seems pretty much it. What an hour. That I can't. Destiny 2 is just something else, honestly, with what the player base does and whatnot. Anyway, the Squizzer said, that was Billion News. Have a nice day. Bye bye.